How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, people? Welcome back. We are actually returning from our mini vacation, I guess you could say. I see John in the chat saying is Prad back from vacation. I guess you could say a mini vacation. Wednesday I had to play golf. Thursday I had to leave to Hamilton. That's what happened. So Thursday I had to leave to Hamilton, or sleeping over at one of my trading buddies' houses who got a new house. So a little housewarming party. We slept over all Friday. We basically just got drunk and had some fun. So you could say a mini vacation, I guess. So took basically the day off Friday, and then today didn't trade because I was coding. I was working on a lot of my vibe coding framework for the trading software, so didn't really do too much trading today, or at all any trading, but got to watch the market move around a little bit. And overall what we are seeing is still some weakness at the highs, right? SPY went back into the all-time high area, found some trouble. QQQ also went back into the all-time high area, also found some trouble today. Tesla, let's talk about Tesla really quick. Nice little a breakout on a daily chart trend line, off of a daily chart trend line, uptrend line. So I actually got some Tesla on my swing account, looking to see if Tesla can make a push towards the $400 area. But with the way the market is reacting at the moment, maybe we do still have some sideways action to go through, especially Bitcoin. If you guys saw how Bitcoin reacted, we pushed into the all-time high and sadly right back to the downside from the all-time high area. So clearly more sideways to go through. There's more supply here in the market than the demand in these areas. But a couple of charts are looking good, a couple of stocks are looking good for the swing account, for the day trade. We're still on the earnings season for the day trade, so that's always a good thing to keep an eye out for. And when you have so much volatility going on at the moment, day trading is always a fun part to participate in. It's fun market, fun. Day trade is not a market, but fun way to make some money eventually. If volatility opens up for the day trading side, is what exactly I'm looking to say. So didn't look at the market. I mean, didn't trade the market, but I do have a watch list created, so that's gonna help us save a lot of time, because you're not gonna be able to. We're not gonna have to talk about a lot of the trades that I take. Usually, I end up taking like 10 trades in a day, so we're not gonna have to spend all that time talking about the trades. Now we just get to spend time directly onto the stocks that we prepared for tomorrow. So let me quickly pull up the watch list, the earnings report, even some of the stocks that the chat wants us to take a look at, and get us prepared for all things that side. I'm watching Dragon Ball Z. That's why you see the tab over here at the bottom. Dragon Ball! Alright. So, starting off with, let's take a look at the earnings calendar of this week. We got a brand new week coming in. So let me turn off the webcam real quickly to show you guys what's behind the webcam. You guys have basically the stocks that report Monday, pre-market, and stocks that report Monday after hours. So that will be Weight Watchers in the pre-market, a couple other names that I've never really traded. Tomorrow after hours, MVST, Plug Power, G Pro. I added all those three to the watch list just to keep an eye on them, but most likely not going to even be looking for a trade on them. The other stocks that reported today, pre-market, Monday, and Bear Gold, their ticker is now B. Okay, used to be Gold, but now it's B. So taking a look at both of those to see if they moved around overall. Today after hours, these are the high priority names to keep an eye out for tomorrow, along with some of the names that are reporting pre-market. That will be Big Bear AI, a big drop to the downside on BBAI. OKLO pushing to the downside from what I see, but very slightly, almost an irrelevant move. So we're gonna have to read about all of these earnings reports. AMC, come on, do we care about AMC? But we'll keep it on the watch list, see if it made a move, and see if there's a trade for us to take advantage of. ASTS, Archer, and then already talked about MVST and Plug Power. Tomorrow pre-market, Circle, Seagate, not Seagate, sorry, this is C Gaming, mobile gaming company, Pony. Previously, I think Uber was trying to buy out Pony, not sure how that deal plays out. Did it get canceled, or what was the partnership entailed overall? But maybe we'll see something about that more in detail tomorrow pre-market. So Pony AI, ONON, that's obviously a name to keep an eye out for. This is athletic clothing and so on, shoes, basically in the same world as Nike. And if you look at it, they're doing a damn good job at taking away market share from Nike. I'm seeing a lot of sports people, especially in tennis, wear ON gear, even just in general outside in life. I'm seeing a lot more people wear ON shoes than Nike shoes. Maybe because I'm just getting older and I'm not hanging out around university crowd or high school crowd, which is probably still buying Nikes. But more people I'm seeing ON being worn outside in general. So something to keep an eye out for, to see if they're stealing more and more market share away from Nike. PaySafe, that's a name that's on the watch list too. Cardinal Health seems like a name I've traded before, so I have it on the watch list, but I'm not sure if it's going to be too important tomorrow. Surprisingly, two IPOs that IPO'd very close to each other are reporting earnings right on the same day, just hours apart. So Circle pre-market, as mentioned earlier, CoreWeave after hours. That's very interesting. So CoreWeave, Rigetti, this is quantum computing. Kava, we'll obviously keep an eye out for that tomorrow after hours, and a bunch of other names. And then looks like the earnings reports are kind of dying down. You have some boomer names sprinkled in with some random names across the board. So if any of these names actually give us some trading opportunity, I'll be surprised, but we'll see how it plays out. Cisco, JD.com, Chinese names right around the corner. I think today Trump announced that another 90-day extension for China. So as expected, Trump always chickens out. And Taco coming into play. JD, Baba. I'm guessing Baba reporting sometime next week, unless they report it already. But I don't remember them reporting already. So JD probably first. John Deere also reporting Thursday pre-market. That's something to keep an eye out for. Not Nucor. This is New Bank. Sorry, New Bank. Thursday after hours. And that looks like, for the most part, all she wrote for the earnings calendar. Sadly, not the most exciting earnings calendar, and I do have to sadly tell you guys that I will not be here Wednesday 13th because I paid for what do you call it? Traders for a Cause trader meetup. So I'll be heading over to a Traders for a Cause trader meetup in Toronto to potentially meet some big time traders and make some connections, eat some good food. It's at the Steam Whistle Brewery. Very limited seats, so if you guys are interested and if you are from Toronto, make sure you check out their website. Check out their website to buy their tickets. Pretty damn expensive for just the meet and greet, and not even an actual conference. Kinda sad about that, because I think the actual conference is like $100. On top of that, obviously you have to pay for your ticket to the city or state or whatever, pay for sleeping, pay for hotel, pay for food and everything, right? So it probably costs more than $100, but it's not about the money. It's about wanting to meet people, getting to expand your horizons, and learn more about trading eventually through that if possible. So that's the earnings calendar. Obviously, my personal calendar, I'll not be able to stream Wednesday for you guys, but we will be back to regular schedule again Thursday. But I'll be streaming both days, Monday and Tuesday. Quick look at Centerpoint's watch list or summary of what happened today. BMNR, boy, that one hurts because we were long $40. BMNR then broke below 37, stopped me out. I never really looked at the chart again, and that was a big mistake because now I looked at the stock today just to find out that it's at goddamn $60. So we were long 40, we got stopped out 37, the stock is at $60. That is absolutely heartbreaking. Shout out to BMNR though, potentially worth keeping an eye out for tomorrow. It's on the watch list. OKLO reporting earnings, mostly flat in the after hours. We'll take a look at that more in depth using our earnings tool. So maybe actually, let's do our earnings tool right now. Earnings research, ER scan stream. Bring in my watch list over here. Let's do MNDY, B, ABW, BABAI, OKLO, AMC, ASTS, ACHR. Hopefully it does all of these. MVST, Bug, G Pro. That should be it. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stocks. This will be a very good test to see if AI is able to pull all of that for us. OKLO mostly flat in the after hours trading, following the release of the company's quarterly financials and announcing that OKLO Lightbridge are to evaluate additional co-location opportunities for manufacturing. This is obviously the nuclear energy sector, up 3% as CEO enters a meeting with Trump at the White House. That's hilarious. CEO basically getting told to get fired or quit, and now he's entering a meeting with Trump, and stock is right back up. Okay, anyways, Soundhound up 15% after upgrade from whatever that is. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Upgrade from that to the stock to $16, so getting a little price target upgrade, 15% boost off of that. AI getting a 25% drop after I think their earnings reports or preliminary guidance results not looking good. So the CEO saying You know, he's very he's not accepting these results from his employees or something along those words, what I saw in the morning when I was reading some articles. So AI taking a little drop off of that. I saw a couple of my trading pod members actually catch the the reversal back on AI. So shout out to them for catching that trade. CoreWeave up 7% on continued momentum, and obviously they report tomorrow after hours. So a little momentum burst into that, but looks like the buyout, right? I'm pretty sure they're buying out the stock on continued momentum. The largest activist shareholder sought to vote against the proposal acquisition, of course. So someone coming in and blocking the deal. Monday down 29% of the company. Ooh, big down on Monday. I remember trading this IPO. Do I remember trading? I think I do. IonQ up 7%, but I've also seen a lot of people talk about how IonQ reversed all of its gains or most of its gains. So we'll take a look at that. It's on the watch list. RGTI prepares the financial report. We talked about that earlier. ASTS up after hours after the company released earnings results, which is okay. We'll dive into that deeper. And INTU, this is a pretty expensive name. Not really something that I day trade at all, but it is apparently down 5% on no apparent use. Okay, let's take a look at all the stocks that we wanted. Do we get a quick little summary over here? Boom. Okay, not bad. What? Sentiment scores look pretty sad overall. Not what we want to see. And looks like the thing actually did a decent job getting the earnings reports. Okay. Quarterly up 14% year over year. Hopefully these numbers are accurate. Need to actually double check some of these numbers. So let's quickly go back up to Monday and pull up Benzinga, which is actually one of our sponsors. Our sponsor, Benzinga. If you guys are interested, check out the link below in the description, or all other streaming platforms. If you're watching me on where is my newsfeed? If you're watching me on Twitter, just make sure you go check out the Linktree page, and then you'll be pointed over to the Benzinga link. Let me head over to, where is this? This is the check of whether their numbers are right. Monday, 27% growth year over year. Ah, look at that. EPS change. See that number somewhere. We're gonna have to calculate that ourselves, sadly. Hey, but net revenue 111 to 115, 111 to 115. Not bad. So it is doing a pretty good job scraping the internet for us, and it is giving us where it is getting this data also too. Quick little hyperlinks to where it's getting this data from, so you can double check it yourself if you're interested. Look, man, AI is changing the game of scraping the internet for everybody. This is awesome, because now I don't have to go to the Yahoo Finance, type in the link, open up the link. I get spammed by a million advertisements. Actually, Comet, which is Perplexity browser, already has advertisements turned off. So you know, I don't see that many advertisements because of it, but having to find the website, go to the website, do all that work. Instead, I could just have AI be an agent for me and do my work. Look at this, beautiful. So overall, we are seeing growth, but looks like the guidance might have taken a hit on this name. Net revenue actually, you know, 111%. So what actually took a beating overall? Q3 projected in-line revenue outlook increased, customer metrics, customers up overall, sentiment score, Twitter, Reddit score showing slow momentum, but analysts remain broadly positive. Earnings sentiment showing fundamental beat, cautious guidance dampened sentiment. So because of this, the stock took a big nosedive. Let's pull up the stock over here real quick. That's a very, very big nosedive from 240 into 170 area, and now the stock is not even you know, that's a big volume spike too. Shout out to the stock trading. 9 million shares today compared to its 30-day average, which is below $1 million. So expecting a lot of liquidity, expecting day 2 bounce actually to come into play. Let's quickly take a look at how today's candle set up. I mean, that still looks fairly bearish. Looks like we opened at the top and then we just kept selling off for the rest of the day, and that's exactly how it's set up. We opened somewhere up here. Can I actually turn on one of my new indicators that I made? Where is okay. What was I trying to do with this one? The opening price. Yeah, so you can see how it opened at 188 and just kept going lower. Pre-market low 183.87. Tried to bounce, reclaim VWAP, failed to reclaim VWAP, failed to reclaim pre-market low, failed to reclaim today's open, and then just gave you another opportunity over here where it really tried. Again, sellers step right back in, and this looks very, very weak at the moment. You can see how the white line we drew not too long ago set up this indicator as not to show up on the longer time frame. You can see how not too long ago, where's that April 2024 low exactly being tested at the moment. So getting below today's low and staying weak below today's low tomorrow could just open more downside on this name, but the report didn't look that bearish to me. So I think I'm expecting more of a bounce tomorrow, and you know, somewhere around 170, somewhere around today's low, and looking for buyers to step back in. If the stock reclaims tomorrow's VWAP, I think Monday could just give you a very decent long opportunity right back to the upside, because that report's not. So let me quickly go back into the chart. 173.20 is today's low. 175 is basically, I'm rounding up that April low from 174.75 to 175. Expecting that area to come into play. But more importantly, I'm expecting 170. If we do get into 170, still as a even dollar level, as a psychological level, some support to show up at that area. Keep in mind the stock is now well below its 200-day moving average, and usually good things don't happen below 200-day moving averages. It stays a lot longer below its 200-day moving average than you know, most of the stocks out there, especially if you look at the market's at all-time high. So these are not good indications for the stock overall in general. Good things don't happen on the on stocks below 200-day moving average. So if we do see weakness below 175, below 170, that just makes me even more eager to short the stock tomorrow. But any buying above 170, I'm interested to see how this stock behaves on a push back up. Today's VWAP would be 182, so 180 to 182. Even these double tops over here, what's that, 185? So somewhere in this range tomorrow, if we get a pop and reject basically from today's VWAP into this double top high, I'm looking for a short opportunity over there too. So let me just put in 182 to this little pop high tomorrow. Is 186. So watching that little pocket of area to see if sellers can pile right back in, and my inflection level is basically today's low to compare from today's low all the way up to that April 2024 low that we just marked up, which is around $175. So watching for some opportunities, mainly for the long side, but if we get a pop and the pop is not able to find buyers, then I think it's game on for day 2 short, a move back into today's low. If the stock is holding below today's low, below 170, then it's just straight doomsday for this name, because no matter how good the earnings report is, this is why we're not analysts, we're just day traders, or at least me. You know, what happened over here? You missed out on the earnings. Oh, you took B for Barnes Group. Nope, you missed out on that one. You're wrong. Bright Minds Biosciences, is that what it is? I asked for Weight Watchers. You missed out over there too. Big Bear AI. You got a couple numbers and you didn't really give me all of them. Oklo, you got a couple numbers, you didn't really give me all of them. So you missed out on some of them. You did decent on most of them, which is not bad, but a little untrustworthy at the moment for me to completely give it that many names. I gotta be a little bit slower with the earnings over here. Let me go back to the watch list. So we're looking for Barrick Gold. I don't think I'm gonna actually be trading Barrick Gold tomorrow. Big pop on Barrick Gold after selling back down, right? They gapped lower, but then they popped right back up to the north side. So nice move back up north on Barrick Gold here. If you look at GLD, I mean, there's nothing else really to be said. GLD having a beautiful sideways action and then potentially more upside coming in very soon. I'm laughing when I say that because gold is just on a heater. If you look at gold on a longer time frame chart, this is gold on a longer time frame chart, so just on an absolute heater. And if you are into gold stocks, AEM, Kinross Gold, which is what, KIG, ARS, AGC. Kinross Gold pushing into all-time high over here on the daily chart, also looking like it wants to break out. Reported earnings not too long ago, so like it's just every gold name out there. So I'm not even surprised that Barrick Gold is pushing back up. Let's go to the next one. Weight Watchers, did you do anything? Ooh, Weight Watchers is actually at 40 bucks. What happened? When did this happen? July 2025? What? When did this happen? How come nobody told me Weight Watchers is at $29 and it trades less than 300,000 shares a day? This is clearly BS. What's going on in this area? They have a stock split or something? They missed the earnings report here, or at least TradingView did not report their earnings report. Anyways, their report coming out today pre-market, if I remember correctly, or tonight after hours. Looks like tonight after hours, and a little bit of a push to the downside on that report. I'm very puzzled at the moment, I'll be honest. I don't remember seeing the stock pushing into these prices at all. But looks like a negative report, pushing back under $37. We need some volume on this name. Without volume, it'll be really spready and no liquidity really even to trade. So it's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a hard name to keep an eye out for. If we do get below 29, below 30 and look weak under that, that's gonna obviously get me a little excited for a lot of room over here to the downside. But the fact that the stock stayed in these prices and trickled up the way it did without any real volume, that looks crazy to me. So how much is the flow for Weight Watchers right now? Is this even Weight Watchers anymore? Am I tripping out? Weight Watchers? $80 million shares, 2 billion market cap. Hey, it is Weight Watchers. I don't know what's going on with Weight Watchers over here, fellas. Pretty surprised with this little pop here from what, under $1. I don't even see a split marker. Usually you'll see a split marker, but that doesn't even show up. So maybe TradingView actually is screwing up, and that's what it is. Anyways, keeping an eye on this one if we do get some opportunities, but I need volume on this one before anything, so I'm gonna actually downgrade this one to a lower tier priority for tomorrow. BBAI, this one got absolutely destroyed. BBAI, you know, was holding up fairly well over here. The 50-day moving average is catching up to the lows of the ranges. generally good things happen above the 50-day moving average for all stocks, but off the earnings report it completely gives it up and breaks that range low. It's now below the $6 area, which is basically last week's low. Staying below 6 tomorrow on any pops just means it's gonna make a move lower. So BBAI, pretty high priority. I don't even need to look at the earnings report. Yeah, it reported today after hours, but just from the way it traded, I already know the main level is 6 as a resistance. Your inflection level, depending on where the pre-market is, we'll keep an eye to see where the inflection level comes up to play with. But BBAI, you basically have 50-cent ranges, if I remember correctly. That's the ATR on this name. 60 cents is the ATR on this name. So you're basically watching 550, 5, 450, 4, and so on every 5 cents. As long as it stays below $6, just wait for these 50-cent area pops for you to get short into. Wait more on the backside than the front side, so that way you get better prices and better setups to short. Not really better prices, because backside means you're always gonna get a little bit lower price than the best price, but front side you're never gonna get the best price. You're always gonna just keep fighting for the best price, and you're gonna end up becoming like Obi, who's very frustrating. Who's very frustrating to watch how his trades are. Okay. BBAI, watching for the stock to get below 6 tomorrow, or it's already below 6. Watching for the stock to stay below 6 on every pop, and in that case, I'm getting ready to short the crap out of this name. OKLO, very close to its all-time high, broke its all-time high not too long ago, but today with this earnings report, I think kind of a nothing burger move here, really. So mainly depending on how the stock reacts in pre-market, you could take a look at the earnings report, but it really depends on how the stock reacts in pre-market. Could be just a nothing burger trade, really. There might not be no trade here on this name at all. Let's go glance at what the OKLO report is, or we can use our AI tools again, but we just have to do one stock at a time. Pretty sure I asked for OKLO and you gave me Weight Watchers, didn't you? You guys didn't see that. You guys didn't see that. Okay. OKLO. Where is this? Reported quarterly losses of 18 cents per share, which missed the analyst consensus of 12 cents per share, so they lost more. This is a 96.2% increase over a loss of same period last year. Yikes. Where's the overall report? Where is the full report? There it is. Second quarter, so we read that 28 million operating losses. Any guidance report? No real guidance. Where is this? They're talking about their Lightbridge Corp collaboration. Nothing else besides that, and the stock basically had no move at all after all. I mean, I'm very shocked with that. I think if any stock deserved to push a little bit lower, it was OKLO more than MNDY, but it played out the way it did. AMC after hour, holy smokes, delete half of these drawings. What are those drawings? Really, stock went up to $3 last year. Okay. AMC, no reaction at all, really. I mean, it's up 4%, but AMC, guys, I don't think I'm gonna care about AMC. Let's go to ASTS. This stock actually looks a little bit more interesting because it made a monster move higher in the after hours. Not a monster, but at least it made a push back up higher after hours. It pushed back into $50 last time I checked. Not sure if it actually broke $50, so let's go check the high. Looks like it did. It's now closing at $52. Last time I checked, it was just below 50. So breaking 50, going into 52 bucks over here in the after hours. Will be interesting to see how ASTS plays out. Nice bounce right off the 50-day moving average. This stock previously was, looked at as a joke, and as you can see, just slowly transforming itself from a joke into a real company somehow, and just growing and growing and growing. So shout out to ASTS. That was a nice little flag breakout over there. You could even call it a wedge by throwing in that. I guess that is a flag. So you got that breakout, and then now you basically got the bounce right off the 50-day moving average. A very good hold over here of the 200-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average was sloping, giving the stock some breathing room, and then just an insane breakout into $60 area. Some sideways action as the market looks a little scary, and then a bounce right off the 50-day moving average again. So clearly the stock is on an absolute mission at the moment. And the last time I remember the stock on earnings report going crazy, I told myself I never want to miss out on this stock's earnings report again. So for sure, high priority tomorrow, ASTS. The fact that they already broke after hours 50, I don't think we're gonna see 50 coming into play tomorrow at all, but would be nice to see if we get a dip and buy opportunity into 50 to get long, and if buyers actually step up right back into the $50 area. ACHR, drone company. Not sure if they're actually successful in selling drones, and looks like the earnings report move over here shows us that the market actually did not like their report overall, staying below last month's low right now, around $9 or so. Continue to stay below that low would probably open up a little bit more downside. If you actually take a look at that right there, would be the exact same line that I'm talking about. Yeah, it is. So 924, staying below 924, staying below $9 will probably open up a little bit more downside. Ideally though, I don't want to be opening up a new trade at 860 unless we are already below 860 and showing us weakness on every bounce to 860. So as soon as we pop back into 860, I want to see weakness showing up again. In that case, I can say that okay, sellers are now showing up below the 200-day moving average, and again, good things don't happen below 200-day moving average at the moment. It is still above it in the after hours, so got some testing to do tomorrow. You can see how it actually bounced right around that area. So got some testing to do tomorrow. If it does stay below 9 on pops, stay below 924 on pops, could be something to keep an eye out for. This BTC basket is fun. Yes sir, BTC basket is indeed very much going crazy at the moment. I have a lot of stocks on my watch list though. I don't think we're going to be able to go through all of them. MVST, did you do anything after hours? A little bit of a drop, but you're a dollar name, so I'm not sure there's a high priority for me to even trade this name. Producer electronics, electric products. Is this like a microchip semiconductor company? Micro, it says micro, so most likely semiconductors, right? Energy. Okay, so a little bit of a drop in the after hours, but still popped back up after that drop right from previous day low area, right from 230. I don't think there's really anything here for me on MVST. I'll put Archer as an orange priority and mark out the 924 area to keep an eye out for myself. Plug Power in the same basket of non-interesting stocks to keep an eye out for, unless it's back above the 200-day moving average, and it is not. So moving on, G-Pro recently made a move higher. Yep, there it is. Recently made a move higher when the short squeeze names were going crazy. Let's see if the earnings reports helps it out. No volume and absolute nothing burger move in the after hours. Wow, that's very sad. I was expecting G-Pro to at least be some fun tomorrow. Anyways, for the most part, this watch list was overall boring. Let's move to the actual fun part of the watch list tomorrow, which starts in the pre-market, starting with Circle and SE and Pony and OM. Those four stocks might actually give you good trades tomorrow to trade. So let's go to Circle. Circle actually has a nice box also. The only downside about Circle is the spread. It can open up very quickly. However, if I remember correctly, looking at Circle's growth and you know, all kinds of investment side metrics, Circle is actually killing it in the game over there, especially the hype from their IPO. So I'm expecting Circle to actually report well and blast back to the north side. However, if we remember how Cathie Wood's investments usually go, they first go down, then she gets out of it, and then it's a good time to buy them because then they go right back up. Palantir, Coinbase, is she still holding Coinbase? DraftKings, speaking of DraftKings, actually, where is DraftKings? Oh, I'll pull back on DraftKings over there. FLUT, are you pulling back too? Oof, nasty pullback on both of them. Okay, going back to Circle, you know, watching if earnings reports comes out well, I think we get an easy move back above 170 tomorrow. But on a negative report, I think an even easier move back below 149. So these are the two price areas that I'm keeping an eye out for. Besides that, I don't really care how the stock trades. If it's stuck in these two prices, I might look for a short in that area, or I might look for a long in this area to the lows and to the highs. But I'm not interested to trade in the middle of these two ranges. It's either at these two prices for a breakout and a go higher, or a dip and buy and then go higher, or a breakdown and go lower, or a pullback and then a reject and go lower, or a drop into this area, hold and then a long, or a pop into this area and a reject and a short. So there's like 4 or 5 scenarios right there that I just planned out for you just off of one stock, which will obviously be a very, very high priority name for everyone out there in the market. So Circle, I think we're gonna see a lot of opportunities overall. SE, ooh, that's a nice looking chart if it wants to break to the downside. But with from what I remember, SE's earnings reports, oh my god, the stock was on a heater back then. I remember this because this is right around when I started trading, and I was just like, what is going on with the market? Everything was just going insane. Okay, but SE, you know, this does not look too good. Still above the 200-day moving average, but good things don't really happen below the 50-day, and then bad things start to happen below the 200-day. You can see how the stock hasn't really gotten below the 200-day moving average since August 2024, and you're about to hit the 1-year anniversary since then. So not even August, since March 2024. So for almost a year and a couple months now, we've been above the 200-day moving average. I don't think tomorrow will be the day we get below it, right? Maybe the day after that, or the week after that, depending on how bad the earnings reports comes out. But based on how the stock has been playing out so far, I don't think we're gonna expect the stock to go below 130. So putting in that as a support level to keep an eye out for. If it does push down there on a positive earnings report, even more of a reason to look for a long on any sort of hold off 130 tomorrow. If we do get an opportunity, however, to take that breakdown below 145 as a day trade, that's going to be an awesome level to take the trade off of. That's going to be our inflection level. And then based on how the stock behaves tomorrow pre-market, if it already pops off of 145 and we're having to trade between 145 and somewhere between 172, then we'll have to decide what we're doing in this area. Most likely very similar to against Circle, right? I'll make a decision at the high of the area, I'll make a decision at the low of the area. Maybe somewhere in this area there's actually some decisions that could be made depending on how good the earnings report is, because of how wide this range is overall. The stock's ATR is only $5, so it's very much possible that you get a 2 ATR move, which is pretty much you know, gapping up a little bit and then getting a 2 ATR move to the upside. So there's some trade over here to be made, not exactly like Circle where I'm going to be ignoring the middle of the range. So some ideas over here overall. SE high priority again. Pony, if I remember correctly, I have not traded the earnings for this name, and so I don't know exactly how it'll play out. But you know, this stock has been very much in play in the recent history, so maybe some volume coming in, breaking back above the $16 area will be very interesting. Anything above 16 would potentially take the stock again into the stratosphere. If they're showing any sort of a growth, I think we can see a new all-time high coming into the stock very quickly. So Pony, I'm gonna put 16 as an inflection level at the moment. Obviously pre-market, we're gonna have to move some levels around for all of these names. ON, surprisingly below the 200-day moving average. I did not expect that. I think Nike is back above the 200-day, and it is. So watching ON below the 200-day is a little bit of a surprise for me. Watching how the report plays out, right? So watch how the report comes out in pre-market, and is it pre-market? Yeah, in pre-market, and either we get below the last week's low, or we start making a push back into the 200-day moving average. That's a little surprising. CAH, do you have enough volume? Why do I think that I've traded you before? Not enough volume, but you're actually into the all-time high areas, and your monthly chart looks like this, your weekly chart looks like this. You're actually bouncing off the 21-week moving average, and you have somewhat of a 3-bar play almost coming into play above 160. So going back into the daily chart, that's right here into 160. So there is something that could be taken advantage of on this name tomorrow. So any move above 159.64, 160, and support above that, you could potentially get a nice clean day trade, even a swing trade if you're interested in something like that, because hey, very bullish name. You're basically going to get an undercut and then a potential rally on the 50-day moving average. You can see how it's holding below the 50-day here, getting back above the 50-day, which is exactly that $160 area. Getting above it and showing strength above it easily takes it back into all-time high and higher. So something to keep an eye out for the swing trade if you guys are looking for that. Nice little fake breakout and a push back up also right before the earnings report. PSFE, PaySafe. Ooh, as I remember, still in the lower prices. PaySafe still in the lower prices, still below the 200-day moving average, a declining moving average at the moment. Let's quickly go to the 1-week chart. Let's quickly go to the 1-month chart. You're pretty much close to the all-time lows here. I mean, I'm not gonna expect the stock to break all-time lows and keep going lower tomorrow. So if we do push into 9, and if there is some sort of a size at $9, potentially worth keeping an eye out for a dip buy long intraday. This is only for a day trade, not for a swing trade. But if it does push back higher tomorrow, then yeah, we'll keep an eye out for some other opportunities also. Background music too loud. It's actually the same sound that it always is. Always the same sound that always is, but maybe I'm not talking loud enough because I'm tired. So I'll turn down the music down a little bit more. No problem. No problem. BMNR. Let's head over to BMNR. Very, very heartbreaking. I was long 40 bucks. I got stopped out 39. So heartbreaking to see the stock go back up now. Volume's picking back up. 147 million shares traded today. So very, very interesting. Volume's picking back up on this name. I think a pullback tomorrow and showing a strength above 50 bucks will you know, keep this engine going, keep the stock rolling, and we'll probably see again in these prices coming back into play if especially Ethereum and Bitcoin start breaking out back to the high side. So BMNR, you know, don't leave this one off your watch list. Boy oh boy, what a miss. That undercut and rally, the bounce off the 50-day moving average, and the undercut and rally of the 9 and the 21-day moving average. Just a stupid stop out overall. And man, I could have just got back in. So what if I got stopped out for $3 per share loss? I could have got back in at a much better price and had a insane rally up to the north side here. What a heartbreak move to the on BMNR. But this is what I get for being a little checked out from the market, being a little cashed out from the market, and you know, kind of taking some days off overall. Like every week I took almost a couple of days off from the market, and you know, just spending time with people, spending time doing something else. So gotta get back on the horse, gotta take the vacation mindset out, and we gotta get back to work. However, that's not the same thing for Wednesday after hours. Still trading Wednesday during the day though, so actually back to work overall. Okay, BMNR, keep the watch on that one. MP, it was a little extended, you could say, but today was kind of like day one short. Maybe you get a day two short if first red day, sorry, if maybe you get a second red day if the stock actually sets up for it by popping into today's VWAP and showing some weakness around today's VWAP. So it is on the watch list, but not as high of a priority. Intel, never a high priority, let's be real. I don't even care about Intel. Soundhound, did you do anything interesting? Ooh, that is very interesting. So you got a price target to 16, and the stock basically breaks out of this range high and pushes into $16. So any pullback and hold into 14, maybe you get some long. Any pullback and hold above 15, I think you easily get another opportunity back into 16 from there. If 15 holds, that is. If we get a pullback into 15 holds, I think you got a clean move right back to 16 incoming. Maybe not clean, but an easy move to 16 incoming, and then we'll see if 16 breaks through from there on out. C3AI got absolutely smoked today, and I'll be watching for the stocks to this stock to continue to be weak tomorrow on pops, as long as it stays below $17. You can see how that's the previous low, that's kind of around today's high. So as long as we stay below 17 on any sort of a pop tomorrow, I'll be watching the stock to short the crap out of this name, and look for that day two short back to the downside. If it's below today's VWAP, even more of a reason to look for that stock short. CoreWeave, this one reports tomorrow after hours, so I'm not sure it's a high priority name just yet, but you know, clearly stock is breaking out and pushing back to the north side, bringing in some extra relative volume too. I wouldn't call it extended just yet because it hasn't made that 4 or 5 ATR move in 5 days. So it's got a little bit more room to go. Let it go extended, and with earnings right around the corner, really, do you want to be guessing what the stock is gonna do? I think you're gonna find a better trade opportunity on that name. You have, you know, other stocks that you can put your risk on that are actually in play, more in play than CoreWeave tomorrow. So I'm gonna kind of ignore CoreWeave overall, but it's on the watch list because it's been making a move recently. I thought IonQ sold off. Not really. Okay, IonQ did sell off a little bit, but overall holding off right off the VWAP, bouncing back up to the north side, or should I say reclaiming VWAP and bouncing back up to the north side. For the most part, the main hold, it looks like, is right around last month's high. So holding last month's high area for IonQ. We'll see if we're able to break out of this actual very clean trade opportunity setting up here on IonQ. If you get that breakout on this name, that might be something that I might be looking for a long opportunity on my own account, you know, on the swing account, on the day trade. If we're getting above 47, I think that is a very easy long on IonQ for the day trade. Might even size the hell up on that name if it actually plays out. You can see how 47 today was the high also. So 47, and then you have the flat level high, which will always be important. Flat levels are always more important than diagonal levels, because orders are placed at a flat price, right? People place an order, it's at a flat price. But because people move orders up and down, you get this trend line thesis forming overall. So more importance always to the flat line, which is right at $49, and I'll extend that a little bit up to 50 bucks. Ion Q looks very interesting for the swing and for the day. For swing and for day, if above 47, get hard. Get hard. INTU. Oof, that is a pretty big pullback. But like I said, not a stock that I'm going to be interested to really day trade. But boy, oh boy, if this stock holds 700 tomorrow, there could just be a long here. What? Largest percent decrease on why? What? Maybe it's worth keeping an eye on. Somebody know something before the earnings report? What's going on here? I think 700 could give you a long opportunity. Coinbase, you know, Bitcoin actually struggled a little bit today. And if you guys have actually been following Coinbase overall, it's not been doing what you want to see it do, right? Bitcoin has been going higher. MicroStrategy is going back up. Hood is basically at a new all-time high right now. Insane move on Robinhood. But here you have on Coinbase giving up everything that it recently made. Shout out to its amazing earnings report. I keep warning people, but people don't listen to me. So, you know, I can only do so much. I can only help you so much until you listen. If you don't want to listen, that's up to you, right? At the end of the day, I'm not your financial advisor. Everything I say is not financial advice, so you get to make your own decisions. You get to pull your own triggers. And from what I saw over here was not good. That was from their previous earnings report overall anyways. So just more bleeding coming in, especially if Bitcoin, the way it's struggling around this 120 area. For me, I'm expecting a breakout above this 123 very soon. I'm not expecting a lot of sideways coming into play with how we bounced off over here off the 112, 115 zone. But that being said, do I think Coinbase is going back into the 400s, into the 500s? I don't think so. You can clearly see a change, a shift in momentum, a shift in the way people are looking at how to buy cryptocurrencies. You don't need a Coinbase account anymore if you can do everything through your Robinhood account, through your Webull account. And especially if you are able to buy cryptocurrencies on your 401k accounts, you're gonna do that most likely even more through your you know, Robinhood account, through your Webull account, or your bank accounts that you're already trading with, or an IBKR or something. So I just don't see an existence where Coinbase comes out of this victorious. We'll see if I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, but so far I get to say, ha, I told you so. So that's a little quick I told you so rant on cryptocurrencies. But look, I'm pretty bullish on cryptocurrencies overall in the end. So I'm not really looking for all cryptocurrency stocks to fall. I'm just looking for Coinbase to fall. Nice little breakout on Ethereum over here, and obviously that is bleeding a little bit into, or sorry, this is giving sympathy to BMNR trade. IBIT, PLTR. IBIT is actually worth keeping an eye on in case Bitcoin breaks out, whenever it breaks out. So keep an eye out for that. Palantir, little pullback on the day today, a little extended on the daily chart. I think if you go to one of my other things over here, Palantir, a little extended on the daily chart. You can see how this is right here. So it's about 4 or 5 ATRs in 5 days. And today is the first red day. So if stock looks weak around today's low, slash 180, I'll say today's low is actually 182, not even 181. So 182. If we start looking weak below today's low, I think you could expect Palantir to start having, you know, second red day short opportunities, which I don't think is a real setup, but we're gonna keep an eye out for this 182 low area. and then right below 182, obviously you have that even psychological price 180. If it starts looking weak below 180, then I think it really will open up some downside. You can even expect a move back into the 9-day moving average, some doomsday coming into, not really doomsday, but a nice little short opportunity coming in on Palantir tomorrow, given how weak the overall market is at the moment on any sort of a move to the north side. Tomorrow is also CPI day, so CPI coming out negative is not really going to help out any of these stocks or overall market. SMCI, ever since they reported earnings, have clearly ruined my trade, but at least I made money on the overall trade, so I'm not going to complain too much. SMCI with CPI tomorrow, maybe we do see another breakdown and a push into the 200-day moving average, so looking for 44.50, 45 area to break tomorrow. I'm just going to say 44.50, not even 45, because that is the low. If we do break below that, potentially some more downside on that name. EA Sports, surprisingly pushing back to the north side and a new all-time. Wow, I didn't even see EA Sports chart look like this on the monthly. That is actually very clean looking chart on EA Sports. Shout out to EA. Okay, I didn't know it looked like that. I respect your game a little bit. Nice breakout. Basically an inverse bouncy ball here on the daily chart, on the weekly chart, and basically also on the daily chart here. So nice little breakout, moving back higher. Reported earnings not too long ago, and then Battlefield 6 is a brand new game that they came out with, which is catching a lot of traction. A lot of people have been playing it, posting. I see a lot of clips on Instagram. I see a lot of clips on TikTok. So, you know, I see people actually liking the game and having fun with it, unlike previous Battlefields, which have been a little annoying, buggy, and so on. So shout out to EA for coming out with a banger of a game. If you guys know me, though, I've always been a big EA hater, but I'm not a hater for making money. So if there's an opportunity here to make money tomorrow, day 2 trade, this is considered a brand new breakout, right? A new breakout, a day 1 opportunity. Technically, you could say the stock is extended. It is up more than 2-3 ATRs. There you go. It's actually up, what is it, 5.6 ATRs in 5 days. So a little extended on the daily chart. Expecting it to go higher and higher would be ridiculous, especially if the market looks weak. But a dip buy into today's VWAP for a, some sort of a long into today's high, and then if the stock actually manages to keep going above today's high, then that's your bonus money over there. So 50% retracement somewhere around today's VWAP 174. What is today's VWAP actually on the 5-minute chart? It lines up right at 174.50, so anywhere from 172 to 174.50 because of this double bottom here. Expecting some buyers to step in, and then maybe we get a day 2 long opportunity on EA. Keep an eye on this one. And then you have your large cap names: Apple, Microsoft. Shout out to Apple. Fuck, I mean, I have some long at 220 on Apple, but I did not go hard enough. Shout out to Apple. Google, man, I'm a little scared about Google, honestly, for Google's future, because if you guys are staying tuned to AI and all things AI at the moment, this is not looking very good for Google in the long run, because apparently a lot of the AI traffic or internet traffic that previously was going through google.com is actually being diverted through ChatGPT to Perplexity, which is in return taking away a lot of ad revenue money from Google. So, their recent earnings report was good, but anything that I'm actually searching, I'm not going to Google and searching anything anymore. I'm just typing it in my Perplexity tab over here, and then it finds it for me, and it navigates for that page to me. So it's just I'm seeing a shift for myself. I'm seeing a big shift for myself from I almost forgot. What is the MLB score right now? I need for this game. What's the score total? 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. This, what is H? Game's not over yet, right? Wait, is it 3 and 1? What is 3 and 1? Man. What happens when you do stuff that you don't even know about, chat? Is there an MLB dashboard for you guys? I thought there was an MLB dashboard. I think, wait, that's not even, oh, this is the game that I have money on. Oh, okay, they didn't even start yet. Okay, never mind. The game starts in 45 minutes, so I got some time still. Okay, fine. Close this, close this. As I was saying earlier, I'm seeing a lot of traffic get diverted away from Google, so I'm a little sad. But you know, Google AI has been also catching up to the game. Google AI, the reason why they're charging so much for you to use Google AI is because they know they're going to be taking a hit on the ad revenue side. So I guess they're gonna offset it somehow. For now, Google is making a nice move back up to the upside. I think I got stopped out somewhere in this area. Very frustrating, but nice breakout back above 180 and a continued push over here on Google right back into what will soon be, yes, a double top. So today, or sorry, this Friday, day 1. Today, technically day 2. It did look weak under yesterday's VWAP. Let me just zoom in over here. I hate this indicator for this very reason. Because it just ruins my charts. So it did originally stay below yesterday's VWAP, but overall stayed above yesterday's VWAP going into the close. Was yesterday's VWAP now today's VWAP? That would be even better. Almost, not really, but yesterday's VWAP and today's VWAP line up into the same area, around $200. So basically showing you that yesterday's price and today's best price is right around that 200, and that will be your under over level for tomorrow to keep an eye on, your inflection level on Google. Amazon, bad earnings report, I guess, or overall somewhat of an ugly earnings report move, and now pushing back up, reclaiming the 50-day moving average. Volume dying down though, and not really the cleanest of the clean setups at the moment, so kind of just ignoring this one. Someone posted a chart of Meta looking like a cup and handle. So what if I go to the 1 month chart, 1 week chart? I think what they posted, this is the cup, this is the handle, this is the second handle, or this is the cup and this is the handle. Either way, yeah, this was the cup and then this is the handle and then a little flag above the handle. Either way, you know, I guess they're expecting Meta to continue pushing up north. The chart is looking very good according to them. For me, I personally just stay away from Meta. You know, I have prejudice. Is that the right word? I hate Mark Zuckerberg. But not really any reason to stay away from it other than for the day trade. The liquidity really trash on this name. Low volume, high price, so the spread's going to be ugly. So just not the best name to trade for a day trade. For the swing, obviously, I don't hate money. So if there's a setup over here to go long on this name, then we'll talk about it and then we'll look for it. But for me, I try to just stay away from Meta. Microsoft, ugly pullback after its earnings report. Here's a name that I care about more than any of the large cap names. Before we go to that, let's quickly go to Nvidia. Nvidia looking pretty good over here around the all-time high 184, 183 area. Still looking good at the moment. But the most important large cap name for tomorrow will be Tesla, because today was technically day, I guess 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, day 4. But today's breakout, any buying, any momentum in this area and more upside will be very interesting, because you're going to see more and more buyers piling in. Anyone who missed the breakout, anyone who actually the Tesla overnight market should be open. So let's pull up the overnight market chart. Here it is. It is up $7. It is at 2% higher than where the stock was left. Where was it left? 339. It's now at 341. So more of an idea to keep an eye on this name, because if it starts to look, strong above today's high, we'll be very interested to watch this name tomorrow without a doubt. It's kind of around, not really above today's high. It's a little bit lower than today's high, but very interesting to watch how the stock. I love that they added the overnight market charts on TradingView. Shout out to TradingView. Good job, TradingView. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the watch list for tomorrow, with 2 large cap names that are important and a bunch of other big names that are also on the watch list. Earnings names on the watch list. Circle, I think, will be a high priority. Monday, another high priority. Tesla, another high priority. Palantir potentially getting downgraded based on how it trades, but another high priority. Bunch of purple names here, so excited to see how that plays out. Tomorrow there's only one important thing on the calendar, which is CPI. Besides that, nothing else that popped out to me. Let me quickly scan again. CPI, federal budget balance at 2 o'clock, or sorry, that's 2 o'clock, right? Yes, 2 o'clock. And nothing else. So yeah, CPI 3-star event. Market's obviously going to keep an eye out to see how that number comes out. That comes out weak, we are probably tumbling again, and then you're going to see open CME Fed tool. You're probably going to see that market tumbling off of that number, and then you're probably also going to watch how don't open it in a private browser, open the page. You're also going to see how this number probably changes. It's already changing. Not too long ago it was at 90%. Now it's at 84%. And if CPI comes out bad, you can potentially see this going down to 50%. And if this goes down, potentially market goes down too. The VIX goes up, and all kinds of fun activities for the short side open up for day traders. So that is always a potential. Keep an eye out for that. I think that's pretty much all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9:10. It's time for me to call it. I will see you guys tomorrow for my trade review. Or I'm just gonna probably be coding tomorrow also. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, no. I'm gonna go into work tomorrow, so I'm gonna get some trades in. I'm also gonna try and get some coding in. The problem is when I go to work, I'm always just looking for trades, and I stop coding. So, or I should say, I stop vibe coding. So I need to finish that project. I got a lot of that project done today, which was good. Still got a lot of ways to go. So gotta do that. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Something to film. What do I film about for? I film for YouTube short. I haven't posted a YouTube short or Instagram short in a long time. I need to. I'll figure that out after I get some food, and I'll use some AI tools to help me with that too. All right, boys, ladies and girls, catch you guys next time. I'm sorry I didn't get to catch up on the chat. I see Angry Buddha, Dieter, Fohammer, TH, John Vaughn, Michael Anthony, Victor H in the house. Anybody on the Kick and on X.com. Good night if you guys were here. Thank you for coming. Catch you guys next time. Peace. Magnificent 7 also had a pretty get ready for trade off of get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, month, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.